Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Low Calorie Cooking Basics. This is the show where I teach you the tools, tricks, and tips I've learned for how to cook on a calorie budget. This week we're taking a look at a few of my favorite spice blends. These are things I use time and time again in the kitchen with a ton of different dishes that aren't just the obvious, salt, pepper, garlic powder. Be sure to like the video down below if you do enjoy this and subscribe if you want to see more. Put out new videos every Monday and Friday. So spice blends. The reason I wanted to talk about this, spicing and seasoning your food is critically important for any sort of cooking, but it becomes even more important when you're cooking with lower calories. You'll hear a lot of chefs say, fat is flavor. So when our fat content is low in a dish, it's important to make sure and at least add in a little bit of flavor in there so we're not trudging through, bland and boring and crappy meals on our diets. The first combo I'm going to talk about today is one of my newer favorites. If you guys remember, I had a roasted Brussels sprouts recipe on the channel a while back. This was the first time I'd really tried this, and since then it has become my go-to for any vegetables. All it is fennel seeds, and then if I can see here, garlic powder. Garlic and fennel together just are incredible. It just has that really, really deep, savory sort of flavor, almost a meatiness to it. And then garlic, of course, is amazing. So together you get this meaty, garlicky sort of flavor combo. And I've been using it for any of my vegetables, especially roasted or grilled ones. It's really, really great. I'm just gonna pour out a few of these. So we have just a little bit of fennel seeds, and then a little bit of garlic powder. And then I am also omitting, for simplicity's sake, with all of these spice blends, you're gonna want some salt and you're gonna want some pepper. People get so afraid of salt when they're cooking, especially on a diet. Generally, any amount of salt you're gonna use in any home-cooked meal is gonna be perfectly safe unless you have some other pre-existing medical condition, so don't worry about the salt. So a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and yeah, just fennel and garlic powder. And this just makes for a really great blend of spices to use for any vegetables. It is just completely amazing. So the second one we are going to go over today is my taco seasoning. Now I call it taco seasoning, but I use this for any sort of tacos, fajitas, any sort of Mexican food. This is always my go-to spice blend. I found a version of this recipe on a blog years ago, and since then I've always kept and maintained a big batch of this taco seasoning in my cabinet to use whenever I need, because I make burritos and burrito bowls and all that sort of stuff all the time. But I'm not gonna measure anything out, like I said, for demonstration and simplicity's sake, but all you need for the taco seasoning is 3 parts of garlic powder. I'll typically make a big batch, so I'm doing, each part, quote unquote, is going to be 1/3 of a cup when I make a big batch of this. Did I say garlic powder earlier? All right, so 3 parts of chili powder. Next step, you're gonna have 2 parts of onion powder. And those are the only different ingredients. And then from there, you're going to add some paprika. I usually will change this up a little bit. I'll get smoked paprika quite a bit, or this is a hot Hungarian paprika. Cumin. This is one of the main ingredients in when you taste a lot of that fajita seasoning in those packets. Cumin is one of the biggest flavors for that. Next up, we have oregano. Now, technically ground oregano would work as well. I just buy the full leaves because they're $1. Can't justify 4 times the cost, but a little bit of oregano in there, really nice earthiness. And last but not least, what have I missed? Garlic powder. Can't forget the garlic powder. But this just blends up into just some amazing flavors. Yeah, I keep a big batch of this at all times and I use it every week. All right, so the third and final spice combo I wanted to share with you today is going to be kind of an Asian sort of theme, and that is ginger, sesame, and cayenne. This just makes for a really great combination. I like making a lot of stir fries and a lot of Asian sauces, and this is some of my base ingredients that go into any sort of Asian sauce or stir fry I'm gonna make. You add these together, add in some soy sauce, and it's a really good starting place for a base. I'm always tweaking my recipe for that. I've got a few variations. I've put them all up on the channel for you guys too if you're ever interested. I completely forgot as well to this garlic, of course, with anything. Garlic powder is probably used in almost every single dish that I make. Ginger and garlic and sesame seeds and a little bit of cayenne for some spice. Just an amazing sort of takeout style Asian flavor. But that is it, you guys. 3 different spice combos for y'all to try. Hopefully you learned a couple of new things here. Like I said, these have been a couple of my favorites I've discovered as I've been cooking more and more. Leave me a comment down below. What's your favorite spice blend? What is your best homemade concoction? I'd love to get that discussion going. And be sure to like the video if you did enjoy this. Just getting this series started off so far. I've been loving it. You guys seem to really love it as well too. But until next time, I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good one.